Hello everyone and welcome back to Road to TCG Worlds 2017. Today we are going to be using Vespiquen Zoroark deck. Now a lot of you might have seen the announcement yesterday. We have featured 4 of the top decks, I would say, that you could expect in the upcoming format, but they all featured either EX Pokemon or Mega Pokemon. Volcanion kind of features a combination of both. But now, this week, we are going to focus on non-EXs that can be competitive. We are going to be using this deck, and we are going to be using Rainbow Road on Wednesday, so definitely come back then to view that video, because I'm sure it will turn out really good. And yeah, this Vespiquen deck, the list is 100% the list off of the charizardlaunch.net website. Now, I tried using it, I made changes, I tested a few other things, but I came back to the original list. I feel like it's really good, and that's why we are going to use it. I will try to remember to post a link. If I do remember, it'll appear somewhere on the site or on your screen right now for you guys to review the article, because it's a really good article, so huge props to them for the list. And yeah, let's get right to it, shall we? So for combi, for Vespiquen, it is our main attacker. Deals more damage for every Pokemon that's in the discard pile, so that's really good. No more Battle Compressor, so your damage output can sometimes be a bit limited because of the fact that you don't have an 100% way to get rid of Pokemon like you did with Battle Compressor, but that does open up a few slots for other things. Makes or forces you to play a bit differently. And I don't know, I mean, it's not the end of the world. You can definitely play around it, or play around the fact that you don't have Battle Compressor, and as long as you play the non-EX for EX trade quite well, you should be okay here. So Vespiquen, the main attacker. Then we have a 3-2-1 Zoroark line. Now 3-2-1 is weird, I guess. There's no super odd, so at most you will ever have 2 Zoroarks, and there's also no darkness energy, so you will never be able to use foul play. But the extra HP from Zoroark Break can save you from a KO from a Giratina, from a potential baby Volcanion, which doesn't get powered up by Steam Up from Volcanion EX, or forces your opponent to discard energy in order to get the KO. So the extra HP could be really useful, and worst case scenario, it's simply another Pokemon to discard. Odds are that eventually you would discard one of the 3 Zoroarks if you actually played 3 Zoroarks, and you would only end up with 2, so I mean, it works out. Then we have 4 Klefki. Now Klefki plays a really good role in the deck. Not only does it go into a discard pile after 1 turn, but against Mega Pokemon decks, you can attach it to whatever Pokemon you are using to attack, and you will struggle against Mega Pokemon EX decks in order to take 1 knockouts with Vespiquen. So Klefki can buy you that 1 turn so that you still trade 2 for 1, and worst case scenario, it forces your opponent to have an Escape Rope or a Lysander. And if you could even play down 2 Klefkis on your Pokemon in order to prevent the Escape Rope scenario. So a well-timed Klefki could be really good. And if you're up against a non-Mega EX deck or a non-Mega deck, whatever, you can simply attach them and they'll get discarded the next turn, and you'll get more Pokemon in the discard pile. Then we have 4 Unown, which are the most obvious combo card with Vespiquen. And we have 4 Shaymin EX. Now that doesn't mean we will be using 4 Shaymin EX in every game or whatever, but it does give us a high count or high odds of getting it out early on, and we can also discard whatever extra Shaymin we do have. Now in terms of supporters, we have a 4-2-2 Sycamore and Lysander. I would maybe like a 3rd N, but with the 4 Shaymin, you sometimes do end up playing down 3. And you also have Unown and 4 Acrobike. So you have enough energy, or rather deck acceleration or draw power, and that sacrificing 1 N is pretty okay. And then we have the 1 Ranger. Now Ranger, it is to to nullify the effects of Giratina. Could also help versus a potential Jirachi Stardust versus a potential Glacian EX. So it definitely has some good uses here. 4 Vespiquen for Ultra Ball, pretty standard. 2 Trainer's Mail, that's all you could fit. You could argue 3 Trainer's Mails, 3 Acrobike, not really that big a difference, but the Acrobikes do or can help you get more Pokemon in the discard pile, which serve the function of the compressors, I guess. And then we have 2 Floatstone for Zoroark or whatever else, but none of our Pokemon have higher than 1 retreat cost besides Zoroark. And we have 2 Special Charge because we only have 4 double colorless energy in the deck, so you definitely want to put those back. And we have 2 Revitalizer because that gives us a potential 5th and 6th Vespiquen if we really needed them, or to simply get them back if we discarded a few pieces early on. And then the single stadium, this is a card I would like more of because of the huge stadium wars going on with Rayquaza and things like that. But then again, Rayquaza can't simply KO you without the need of Skyfield, Rainbow Road as well. So I mean, you would like one to, I don't know, so that your opponent doesn't get too much mileage out of the Scorched Earth, maybe on Volcanion or something like that. But just the one feels alright. Like, you could argue for more, but it feels alright. So that's the list. Once again, huge props to the Charizard Lounge for the deck list, and let's get into our first game, shall we? As you can see, next to Vespiquen is the Rainbow Road deck, which will be featured on Wednesday in English and on Thursday in Spanish, so definitely look forward to that. I know I am, because Rainbow Road is a really fun deck, and yeah, we'll see what happens today. Hopefully we get some good games, win or lose, hopefully we get some good games, and yeah, let's see what happens here. Looks like we're up against Darkrai Giratina right off the bat, so yeah, or could be Mega Mewtwo, seeing the coin, maybe, not entirely sure. My opponent does decide to go first, so we're definitely not going to be attacking on turn 1. That Revitalizer draw is not ideal. Odds are we will not find our how do you call it, our Forest of Giant Plants, or Forest of Giant Plants. Okay, wow, never mind. So that's not a Darkrai, that's a Sneasel, and therefore we're gonna see Weavile. Well, there's a Darkness Energy. There's a Hoopa. So if my opponent plays down the Hoopa, which he does, we are about to find out what the heck is going on here. Because I generally do not know. Darkrai Giratina. Okay, so it is Darkrai Giratina with Weavile as support. So that's really interesting. Presumably the Psychic type from the previous screen was Hoopa and not Garbodor, which could play in our favor. Okay, Zoroark can handle Shaman potentially, but with that Fighting Fury Belt already on the Darkrai, it's gonna take a lot of resources to really KO that Darkrai, and if he begins by taking a prize card, we might struggle quite a bit here. We actually might struggle here, because my opponent is getting a really explosive turn. He already has 2 energy in play, the Fighting Fury Belt. Yeah, it's very unlikely that we'll be able to hit for 220 damage, and he even discards the Weavile. Okay, so he has Pokemon 2 manipulation 100% with Weavile's ability. He gets his 3rd energy into play. He's not powering up Giratina, which I find strange, because just looking at Combia and Zoroark, you should imagine that you're gonna be up against a quad colorless, a quad DC energy deck. Gonna grab the Floatstone. Yeah, and the only easy target here is the Shaman. Okay, Floatstone. I will attach to Zorua. I'm gonna use the Revitalizer because I might as well. This combi is probably going to die this upcoming turn, and I'm just gonna Sycamore for a brand new hand of 7 cards. That is an okay hand, definitely, but it's weird. Okay, gonna use Unown's ability, see what I draw first. A combi, okay. So if I do decide to Ultra Ball, what do I Ultra Ball? A Vespiquen and the Zorua? I guess. Yeah, a Vespiquen and the Zorua. And then let's see what's priced. No Klefki is priced, the Zoroark is not priced either, but the regular one is. No Vespiquen is priced, no Combi is priced, no Shaman's priced, no Unown priced, there's another Zorua. And then we have no Sycamore priced, no Vespiquen priced, no Lysander priced, there's our Stadium, 4 DCEs. So what is priced? The other Revitalizer is priced. 2 Ultra Balls are priced. So 2 Ultra Balls, 1 Revitalizer, 1 Zoroark. And I don't generally know what else. Okay, so I will find an Unown here. I will definitely find an Unown here. I will play it down. I will use Klefki's ability, attach it to the active combi, which really won't make any difference at all. I will play in the other combi, and I will use Shaman for 3 more cards. Just basically trying to secure energy for the next turn. There we go. Potentially getting as many energy or as many Pokemon in the discard as possible. But by getting the Lysander, I can actually secure a KO on a Shaman. Maybe I should have grabbed the N. I'm not gonna play down the energy or the acrobike. That might seem counterintuitive because if he does end me, I might be in trouble and I might not find the DCE. But I think I would be in a lot more trouble if he actually if he's actually able to Lysander up whatever does have energy, and I cannot attach to it, or I cannot find another one. So if he does end me, then I have 4 out of 3 odds, I guess. Okay, so he's gonna target the Zorua. That's not great because I did discard 1 Vespiquen and I no longer have Revitalizers available. He does have Weavile's ability. How many Pokemon are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only. 6, 7, potential 7 total, so that's 90. So I don't even get to 1-hit KO Shaman at this point. So I'm gonna have to try and 2-hit KO the Darkrai. But then Giratina is a big issue here. And he does have Weavile in order to get back the Floatstone, attach it, and retreat. And if he were to take a KO with Giratina, I will be in a lot of trouble. But I mean, what else can I do? What else can I actually do? Okay, can I use 2 Farewell Letters? Well, now I can KO the Shaman, actually. I do find the Ranger as well, but I don't have a follow-up Vespiquen, or I don't have a follow-up Vespiquen, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 Pokemon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I am 10 short of the KO on the Shaman. Oh boy. I mean, Okay, I don't think I can do anything else besides V-Revenge here. If he does KO me, then I will have 2 extra Pokemon in the discard pile. Vespiquen, a follow-up Vespiquen will be able to get a KO, but Daisha will be finding that follow-up Vespiquen. And now with the fact that he's going to KO me with Giratina EX, it's going to be pretty much impossible. And out of the 3-card hand, he had the other Double Dragon Energy and a Vespiquen. So we are in for one heck of a game. Okay, so he decides to free retreat into a Giratina to take the KO, which makes sense. And his other card was the Enhanced Hammer. That's ridiculous. And that is exactly why I did not attach the TCG in the previous turn. Wow. But now we are going to need consecutive Vespiquens. What? Crushing Hammer as well? We are going to need consecutive Vespiquens into consecutive versus Seekers. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be accomplishing too much here. And he even limits my bench. And oh no, he limited my bench, so he's not reducing the damage I'm doing. Okay. So there's a combi. To top deck the Zorua, which is nice, I guess. I will play the charge, the special charge thing. Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to come back from this stage in the game. Okay. No counter stadium, no Vespiquen, no nothing. But of course we do get 3 versus Seekers, because why not? I mean, that's game. That is absolutely game. There's no way we come back from this. We are losing all of our Vespiquens. The thing is, my opponent is never going to miss a KO right now. In an ideal world, I will end into a TCE, Ranger, and Vespiquen, and I attack once, and then he KOs me and goes down to 2 prices, and then I Ranger, KO the Giratina, and then he brings up a Darkrai, goes down to 1 price, and then I somehow have enough Pokemon in my discard pile to KO back that Darkrai with the Fighting Fury belt, and that means he's like, I get that KO, and then what? Yeah, there's no way I win here. There is absolutely no way I win here. I cannot use Klefki's ability, which makes no sense, because why wouldn't I be able to use Klefki if Klefki is not attaching a Pokemon tool card from my hand? That's a bug. That's definitely a bug for PTCGO. Okay. And I can't play any stadiums. Yeah, I'm just gonna concede here, guys. There's just no way. There's just absolutely no way we come back from this. Giratina is too much for us. And yeah. Not much we could have done there, really. So, let's find our next game. I mean, maybe 1 Ranger is not enough. Maybe I should have played the TCE, but you saw my opponent had not only Enhanced Hammer, but Crushing Hammers as well. So, it's like, if you want to counter just the 1 Vespiquen deck, then that's definitely how you do it. I don't think that Giratina Darkrai deck is going to be too popular because of Rainbow Road. That should keep Giratina in check, kind of, but like, it's one of the risks you do face if you do run the deck I'm running. So let's see what happens here. We do get to go first this time around, which is nice. We are up against a water type deck, I believe. That Plasma Coin is really, really nice. The opponent has no basic Pokemon, which is great. I'm just gonna play down all 3 cards. The Klefki I will attach. And okay, so we're actually up against a Mega Rayquaza deck. That's very interesting. Klefki just became a lot more valuable because and Zoroark as well. Zoroark is going to be absolutely huge as well here. Absolutely huge. Okay. Get to draw an extra card. We get to click done. Then, okay, Rayquaza. There is a chance that my opponent might KO me here. Huh. Well, that's not cool. I'll keep the Float Stone. I can use the end with the Vespiquen anyways. No Ultra Ball, so I'm not even, like, I'll keep it, but I'm gonna use the end. And it feels like such a waste to attach Float Stones to things that are not Zoroarks, and that's the 2 Float Stones we do have. So, Shaman for 3. I'm sorry about the noise in the background. I'm generally really sorry about that. And wow, we actually do find the Ultra Ball. So do I wait then? I'm going to Ultra Ball away. Sycamore and Vespiquen. I'm gonna go for the Zorua. Yeah, Zorua is really huge here. 1 Zorua is priced, both Zoroarks are available. 1 Shaman is priced. 1 Unown is priced. So 1 Unown, 1 Zorua, 1 Vespiquen, 1 TCG, and something else. Oh, maybe both Revitalizers. So I'm gonna retreat into Klefki just in case. I do have more Klefkis. And yeah, like if my opponent gets a crazy turn and KOs the Klefki, or he overextends with the Skyfield, we do have a potential return KO with Zoroark. So that's cool. That's really cool. There's the Skyfield. So hopefully he plays down a bunch of Hoopa. Yep. I'm okay with seeing Hoopa. I'm okay with seeing Shaman. I'm okay with seeing Majoranas. I'm okay with all of that. Definitely okay with all of that. Huh. So. There's a Manaphy, that's great. More bench Pokemon. That's absolutely beautiful. There are now 6 basic Pokemon in my opponent's bench. He does end me, but if he doesn't get the Mega Ray, like I could still find the Zoroark DCE to get a KO. That's not going to happen. Does find the Spirit Link, does Mega Evolve. Does he play another Shaman down? That's the question here. Does he play another Shaman down? That Float Stone on the combi might have been a really bad idea because I will not get to protect it with Klefki. There's an Ultra Ball, so we are going to see another Shaman, and I fancy my chances here. I generally fancy my chances here. Now has 7 Pokemon, plus the 10 damage from Zoroark. That's 220 damage exactly. So we need Zoroark and we need DCE. Off of our Sycamore for 7 and potential more Shamans and Unown. So that's really good. We are going to lose 3 versus Seekers doing this, which is obviously not ideal. Does attach to the active and will most likely Mega Evolve to pass the turn. No, he actually goes for a Mega Turbo. Does he have a second Mega Turbo? No. That other Mega Turbo is really bad on the active. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay. I'm just gonna bench a ton of things. I will Shaman for 3. Basically, I don't care how many resources I do waste. Zoroark or Zoroark getting Zoroark is the target here. So I'm gonna use Wonderlock attached to Zorua. Then I will bench this guy. I will Ultra Ball away the Break and the Versus Seeker. There's a Zoroark, and yeah, we do have one more Shaman, we do have 3 DCEs, we do have 2 more Unown. So, I mean, we can definitely whiff here. Oh, okay, that was really bad. I attached the Klefki to the wrong Zorua. Okay, no big deal though. My opponent has a 1-card hand. He already wasted a Mega Turbo and an Energy. I do not want to play the Stadium, obviously. I do have another Shaman potential though, which is great. I'm going to use Verbal Letter. I get to draw an Acrobike, okay. With the Ultra Ball, I will get rid of the Combi and the Forest of Giant Plants. And I will find another Vespiquen, which is a card I get. No, I will find Shaman. Pablo, go for Shaman. Yep, go for Shaman. 3 TC still in the deck. And we do have access to... I'm just gonna attach all the Klefkis. Like, I feel I don't really need the Mega Protection at this point. Is of the situation we're currently at. Okay, so I'm gonna Shaman for 3 cards now. And then I get to use... Oh no, I should have used Unown first. That was really stupid. Okay, so now we only have 1 more shot at the DCE. Okay, this is really bittersweet because we get a DCE in exchange for a DCE and we have wasted a lot of resources. Well, I could have definitely retreated and used the ability. That was really bittersweet. Okay, I'm just gonna use the Wonderlock anyways to protect my attackers. Could have protected the Shamans as well. I'm gonna play down the Unown, but I'm not gonna use it just in case my opponent does end me. And that's why I'm not using the Trainer's Mail either. And we get to deal exactly 220 damage, so that's really good. We get our first 2 prize cards. My opponent needs to top deck, or he has to be holding on to a Sycamore. He needs to find another Mega Turbo. That's why playing the Mega Turbo on the active was really bad, in my opinion. And there's a victory, yep. In that situation, my opponent was never, ever, ever going to come back. Ever. So, yeah. We tried our best in that game in order to find the DCE. We did find it, and yeah, it was pretty much downhill from there for my opponent. His start didn't really matter too much. He didn't get an explosive start. Even if he had, and he would have KO'd the Klefki, it really would not have made a difference. And yeah, we get to... Oh boy, we get to take a win there. Yeah, Mega Ray's bench management against this deck, or against Zoroark in general, is really difficult. Looks like we might actually be up against Rainbow Road of some sort, or potentially Xernea's Break. And yep. So this is John Kettler, which we have played against quite a few times, I believe, in the channel previously. So this should prove to be interesting. He's a really good player from Texas. And yeah. We'll see what he's got up his sleeves. He always has really cool ideas, and I did see Grass, Fairy, Dragon, and Dark. So, it might actually be a mirror match. This is probably going to be a mirror match, actually. Klefki and Unown. So he does end me. Wish I had played down the Klefki then. I should have played down the Klefki, but it's no big deal. Klefki is obviously not going to be a factor here. Bittersweet hand. I do not want to get rid of the Zoroark. I feel like it's going to be really important. We do see Zoroark and Substrika on his end, and we do see a combi. So wow. Okay. It is going to be a mirror match of sorts. Every attacker is going to be really valuable. Not missing DCEs is going to be really valuable. Shaman is also going to be really important potentially. Now my hand is not great. This is the marketing account, which has 4 of every card. I didn't get to choose a name. Okay, so do I bench Shaman or not? He doesn't have a Zorua yet. Yep, that's the one. Okay, we do find an N, which I guess is like I said, it's bittersweet. It's really bittersweet. I'm going to use Farewell Letter, and I get another N. My second N. What could he have? He has no Pokemon in the no, he has 4. No, 2. Never mind. So he needs 2 more, and he has the Unown as draw. So I'm gonna have to Sycamore here. I cannot end him in case he doesn't have anything off of the 2 cards he has, but I cannot afford not to bench things. I do have 3 Pokemon in the discard pile. Klefki does have 70 HP though, which is a problem because I could have potentially gotten a KO here if okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play down the Klefki, and I'm going to attach to Shaman because I did go second, and I'm going to retreat into the Shaman, and then I'm going to deal Sky Return for 30 damage. I feel like he might struggle to deal 70 damage just like I did, or if I do get Zoroark active, he might struggle to deal 100 damage. Okay, so 3 card hand, there's one Vespiquen, and there's a Vespiquen. Okay, so he might have top decked one or the other. I do get Shaman out of play, which is great, but getting a KO would have been even better. Okay, so we find the Shaman once again. We are going to Sycamore away another Vespiquen, which is not ideal. Uses 2 more Unowns. If he finds an escape rope, I'm going to cry. He now benches the Zorua. This is really rough. This is really, really rough. And he passes. Okay, so we can potentially steal that Revitalizer. Okay, I'm gonna bench the other Zorua. I will bench the other Klefki. I will attach a Floatstone, well, to the active, and I'm going to end. But I feel like I'm going to whiff the KO here. He has 4 Pokemon in the discard pile. If I KO, that's 5. That's 80 damage. But I will not be KOing unless I do use Shaman here. Okay, can I use Wonderlock? Hello, Wonderlock. Uh-oh. Come on. Okay. So it froze for like a second there. Okay, I'm gonna bench a combi. I'm going to use See, the thing is, yeah, revitalizers are going to be huge here. I'm going to Ultra Ball away these two things. Find Zoroark, actually. Yeah, because Zoroark gets a KO here, but Vespiquen might not. Or it's easier for his Vespiquen to return KO the KO. I mean, it's 10 more damage, but it might be significant. And Shaman should be safe for now. I am going kind of all-in-ish in this play. But nope, it's just not gonna happen today. Okay, gonna keep the Unown. But this is really bad. I am incapable of drawing DCEs today. I am genuinely incapable of drawing DCEs. Okay, and I'm gonna pass here. There's nothing I can do. Man, he has one DC in play already. I have a full bench allowing him to get KOs with Zoroark. Might not be playing this right, but like I feel like if you can get back-to-back knockouts every turn, then you win, obviously. And there was a chance, like either he needed more Pokemon in his hand, or he would have needed the Zoroark DCE. And I mean, I guess I'm having a lot of trouble finding DCEs. He's not really having that issue, or he might not have that issue. Okay, there's the Zoroark, which makes sense. If I trade a Klefki for a Zoroark and a DCE, I will be happy with that. I will generally be happy with that. There's the stand-in, there's the DCE. Are we going to see a Lysander here? Please don't show me a Lysander. Lysander into Shaman would be disastrous. Lysander into Shaman would make this game really, really hard for us. Really hard. And I feel like he does have it, but he's trying to decide who to Lysander up. Okay, decides to use Wonderlock on the active, and okay. We trade a Klefki for a Zoroark. I am okay with that trade. I am generally okay with that trade. Oh boy. Okay. I mean, do I even want to know? I feel like if I use Unown here, all I'm gonna do is draw a bad card. But I need to have the best odds of drawing a TCE at this point in time. Okay. So I'm gonna get back this Vespiquen line. I won't have too many Pokemon in my discard pile. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But after he KOs me, we should have enough. So I'm just gonna Ultra Ball away the two Lysanders, because I will have to Lysander here. But man, I already have two Lysanders in my discard pile and the third DCE right now. Okay, we do find a TCE. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not going to be able to KO Zoroark either. Man. Today's just not our day. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We are the ones struggling to deal damage. We are the ones struggling to deal any sort of valid damage. So at least, yeah, sure, I pick up the Shaman, but we have so many resources in the discard pile. So many resources. 3 Vespiquen and 2 ends. So we literally have our turns counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should not have played the Revitalizer, I guess. Maybe. Okay. Might come down to our last Vespiquen for a well-timed end. Generally might come down to that. Here, I'm going to take the kill with Zoroark. Definitely gonna try to take the kill with Zoroark. I will bench both Unowns, but I will not use them because I do want end defense, and I'm just gonna Mind Jack for the KO here. 70 exactly. But we are down 2 prizes in this exchange. So basically, we need him to eventually whiff a TCE. Although, or attackers. That's also a potential out for us. The fact that he whiffs attackers. He needs 3 more attackers. He needs 3 more attackers. We have consecutive back-to-back KOs here, which is cool. We also have the special charge already to get back DCEs, because since we will be trading KO for KO, most likely, we will need the back-to-back DCEs, and we will need 6 DCEs. But yeah, nothing too much to think about here. I just need to KO whatever has energy. I don't care if we take a KO on an Unown the next turn. At least we even up the price trade-off. And seeing how he's struggling a bit, okay, there's a Revitalizer, so that's not good. That's not good. He's benefiting off of our stadium. Okay, that's his 3rd double colorless energy. That is his 3rd double colorless energy. Yep. He hasn't played a single Sycamore, a single Lysander, a single anything. Oh boy. We are in a well, there's the Sycamore. Yeah. Basically, I might have to dig in for the end with a Shaman in the upcoming turns to try and prevent him from finding his last TCE to win the game. I might be forced to do that. He does have the Unown though, which gives him a little bit of protection against the end, and I unfortunately do not know if my 4th Vespiquen is available to me. I unfortunately do not know that. Okay, so find another TCE. So we attach there. We play the special charge. Do we? Do we play the special charge and Sycamore? Is that what we do? Oh boy. Huh. Yeah, we have to get closer to the Vespiquen if it is in there. So I'm gonna play the special charge, and then I'm going to simply Sycamore. Okay, so no Vespiquen just yet. Gonna Ultra Ball away the Revitalizer and the Zorua. There's 4 cards left, and none of those are my Vespiquen. So looks like okay, gonna use 1 Unown to prevent a KO from Zoroark. That will force the Vespiquen KO, and that's also another way we can potentially win, I guess. Should I? No. Well, if he does Lysander KO the Unown, with the Zoroark we could be in a lot of trouble, so we have to force the Vespiquen KO. So I'm gonna use another Farewell Letter. But that also means that if my opponent doesn't, or if we do not find the Vespiquen into N, we lose. Because now I'm gonna take myself out. Because how many? Okay, there's a special charge and an N in my discard pile, in my prizes, so we should be able to find one or the other. He now finds a special charge, so now there's 3 DCs left in his deck, unless he got the last DC off of his Sycamore. This might force him to use the Unown right now, or he might play down the Shaman finally, which could also work in our favor. No, he's just gonna go for the combi. So maybe this is where we tie up the game. Oh no, there's a Shaman. Okay. 4 cards, he also has the Unknown. He could have more Shaman as well. And there's the DC, yep. So, because we did not find the DCE, I definitely expect him to have it, to have another one for next turn. And that's gonna be game. Because we discarded so many Verse Seekers. Like, if we had been able to end my opponent continuously, we might have had a shot here. Might have, like really big if. Be Revenge. Even if he somehow whiffs and we do not find a Verse Seeker or the special charge, we do find the Verse Seeker. Yeah, but he's gonna have the DC. He's definitely gonna be able to find the DC. He has so few cards left in his deck. He didn't use as many resources as we did. He has Shaman, he has Unknown. He still has Verse Seekers, Sycamores, etc. So there's no way he cannot draw all of his deck at this point in time, I don't think. There's no way he can't draw all of his deck. Plays down the Klefki. Uses Wonderlock. So we might see another Shaman drop here. Yep, another extra card. Okay, but it's only one. Or does he whiff? Nah, he's gonna Verse Seeker for 7. And that's the game. GG. Man, one turn away. We had not whiffed so much early on, or if we had not discarded so many resources in the beginning, we could have used N and slowed him down a bit, but I mean, what are you gonna do here? What are you gonna do? I can't seem to be able to draw Sycamore and Verse Seeker separately. I always have them together. But anyways, I think we're gonna leave it at that, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely like the deck, but I feel like no compressor really hurts it. I don't think it's, I don't know, I don't think the damage output is consistent enough, in the sense that good bench management by your opponent, like my opponent did, prevents Zoroark from being too troublesome, and then if you don't get enough Pokemon in the discard pile early on, Vespiquen is really underwhelming. So I don't know, the 2-for-1 price trade-off can maybe, I mean, it's great, but the early game with this deck can be really problematic unless you get some really sick Ultra Balls, Unowns, Klefkis, etc. But it's not guaranteed. So yeah, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will be seeing you guys tomorrow in Spanish for more of this Vespiquen deck, or on Wednesday, where we get to see Rainbow Road in action. Thank you guys so much, and bye.